Welcome to D Weaver Art here on YouTube. I am so excited that you choose to watch this channel. Today I want to share with you part 3 in a drawing series titled Drawing Basics and Drawing the Human Figure for Beginners in Charcoal. Now, if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, I urge you to do so. By doing so, you'll be able to receive instant alerts and updates on new content and materials that I upload. So with that being said, please enjoy video series on Drawing Basics, the Human Figure for Beginners in Charcoal, Part 3. Now we done spears, oblong shapes, three-dimensional shape, oval, using light and shadow shading in to create form. Now let's do cubes and cuboids. So to begin with this, you're going to draw a square. You're going to draw two squares. Those two squares are going to overlap. Let's put in the middle and go like that. You're going to connect it, a diagonal line connecting. Now this is contour through and through, or transparent contour. Going to be like that. Verticals on each side, verticals going there, and where they meet. Then you got this front plane here, going back, center, going down, then meeting there. So you got a transparent contour. You got a plane here. You got a total of 1, 2, 3. As far as your eye can see from this angle, if it was a pure cube, but I just did it like it's transparent so you can see the contour line and form of it. Now we're just going to erase that. I'm going to erase that with a chamois cloth. To redraw the line in because I kind of went over it. And let's give us a light source coming from here. So we're going to be light at the top, and this backside is going to be, we're going to block in with the, once again, using vine charcoal. The whole time we're going to be using vine charcoal. Because for this video, because the compressed charcoal is hard to erase, and I want to just keep reusing this paper for illustrations and demonstrations of the drawing exercises I'm trying to teach you. So we're going to smudge that in with the cotton swab. We're going to smudge this side in. Now notice the values here. Values are pretty close, so we're going to darken, just make that a distinct plane shift in value. Because of the plane, we're going to darken this backside up even more and going to bear down on it, and we're going to just probably just leave it alone, and then just slightly come over this, and that should be good for the top. So there's your cube and light source. Then we got the back side here. Dark, it kind of fades off. The shadow fades off. depending on how tense that light is, it's going to kind of do this here, almost like another. I mean, not gonna. We're gonna give it a hard edge here. It ain't gonna soften out to give a distinct shape of that box or that cuboid. So there's your shadow. This shading technique I'm showing you works for anywhere the light is showing. The opposite side of the light source is going to be your shaded or your shadow side. You also have to take in consideration of reflected light. Just lighten that up a little bit. I don't want to lighten up too much, but just lighten it up to give a feel of reflected light. Now we're going to go on to 1 point and 2 point perspective. All right, let's go over 1 point and 2 point perspective. Let's say you are looking out a window. I'm going to draw a window here. Window is going to act as your picture plane. And so now you have, let's say you got a line going across here, S and then L. S means sky, L means land. You looking out that window, you see your land here, you see your sky here. There's a line where sky and land meet. That is considered the horizon line, HL. Horizon line. This whole line, this horizontal line. Now that horizontal line, depending on the nature of the land feature, can be like this and so forth. But not going over landscape in this teaching, but this concept of perspective is what we're doing and working with. So with that being said, let's say you have looking through your camera or a viewfinder, and you see a vertical structure, let's say mainly a building. That building has a rectangle shape right now, but it's a cuboid. Pretty long one too, by the way, what I'm fixing to show you. So you got your top of your building, the base of your building, the bottom. And your vanishing point could be over here, it could be over there. It just depends. Let's say you got a street going here. Let's just put a street. Let's put your vanishing point here. Let's just do that. So vanishing point, this line's going to continue from the edge all the way to the vanishing point where it just disappears. Now, all objects don't actually go to the vanishing point, but the concept works like that. But your building, let's say it just stops about right here. So those edges, those corners must come in a line with the next corner, but you use a follow-through line to connect to the vanishing point. That's your vanishing point. And of course, you ain't going to be able to see through a building, so I'm going to erase this little line here that was an example of the horizon line. Take that line out. And there you have it. Buildings, architectural structure, if you're drawing them, you're going to definitely see this concept when you understand it. And say your light is right here, so this is going to be in shadow. Now think about it. This shadow line is going to continue in the back right here. It's going to be darker. take your swath and draw that in. Make it more distinct. We can block it in even more. And just lightly shade that in. There's your 1-point perspective. It's going to work just like this on this side as well as on the other side. Let me draw another. It could be a square in the front of it. I'm going to make this shorter here. Same concept. Draw a line going, continue here. Continue there, and then let's say a cutoff point about right here. Take the chamois cloth and erase that line, because you're not going to be able to see through buildings transparent. Once again, light source. We're going to say the light source coming over here this time on this building. So this is going to be dark. It's all about angles here. And the shadow is going to continue on this side here. You got this dark here. And then your front, this side is lit. Just block that in, shade that in. This portion of it is lit, and this is shadow. So here you have your vanishing point there. That's your vanishing point. The vanishing point is a concept that allows the artist to have an understanding of depth and perception, the illusion of distance. It gives the viewer an understanding or an illusion to see two-dimensional shades of color, values of color, to give a sense of light and shadow, which creates form. But when you go back in the distance, it gives it an illusion like it's going far into space in the back. Spatial perspective, or not aerial, but linear perspective. So that's what this is. It's 1 point, which we only do on one side of a building or a particular form, mainly your cuboids and cubes. If there was light, and if there was to help the artist to understand that when you see things, I want you to notice something about this, that as you go into a distance, this is how this works, perspective. Linear perspective, as you go into the distance, things get smaller in scale or size. But as you come forward into the foreground, the thing or the object gets larger in scale or size. So that's what I'm trying to help you to understand. You must have a proper groundwork and foundation of drawing to be able to pull off realism and the illusion of depth and space by understanding linear perspective, or 1 point and 2 point perspective. Things get smaller as they go and recede into the distance, where things get larger as they come forward into the foreground. Also, they get more distinct in value and more crisp in value as they go back into space. The value range gets more lighter, not as dark, depending on how far it is, if you're doing like a landscape. But I'm not teaching you landscape on this. This is just basics of drawing, fundamentals of drawing at the moment. But we're going to take these concepts and build off of these concepts and principles to make the human body. or the human figure. The principle of 2-point perspective. Once again, we're not going to do a picture plane. We're just going to use the paper as the picture plane. Let's say you have your horizon line, but right in the middle, it could be over here too, but we're just going, for the sake of building the understanding of 2-point perspective, let's say you have your building here, rectangle, tall structure, building, and you got, now right now it's flat, but we're going to make it 3-dimensional. All right. Now let's say your vanishing point is right here, and then your vanishing point is over here. And you're going to have a line coming from that corner all the way down to the vanishing point, line coming to this corner all the way down to the vanishing point, same for the base, all the way to the vanishing point, line, angle line going all the way to there. Then you're going to probably cut it off about right here, depending, we're just doing from imagination. So let's just say, just cut it off point right there. Then we're going to erase these, I call them follow-through lines. They're just reference lines that are not necessarily need to remain in the picture. But we're doing this from imagination. These are principles that will help you to be able to draw from imagination. And then take these off too, because you can't see through that object. Now that's just looking straight onto the object. Now we was to look from above, I don't know if you can see that, excuse me, I'll bring that down, above, I'll fix that here, excuse me. So you got above and then the bottom. And then you got your sides. Left side, right side. Now, if you was looking straight down, it would look like this. Well, we don't know what that backside, but let's just say that backside is flat. It would look like this, just looking straight down on it. And say this is your window here for looking straight down. ST for straight down. It would look like this. This is this. This is your left side. This is your right side. S. Left side. Left side here, right here, this plane here. This side, right side, this plane here. There's a line. Back side is unknown when you're looking straight at it. But this is your back side. B, back side. F for front side. So above, bottom, we can just do this here. Change bottom to front side. So that's the basic concept of 2-point perspective. That's how it works. That's if you're doing buildings. But we're not doing buildings, but I'm just sharing with you that's how it works. Now let's give it some light. Right now we have contour, plane. A plane is where it's a quick shift in the values due to the fact of the contour of the object. And most of the time when you have a plane, you have a shift, a quick shift in value because there's a plane change. There's an angle change in the plane. Therefore, the light it can't bend around as much as it did hitting off the flat surface. Therefore, it's going to be a change in the value. And we're dealing with grayscale values. So this, you got your light source coming over here. We know this is going to be lighter. This is going to be dark. But hold on. We got 3 planes we're working with. We're no longer working with a gradation or a subtle shift in the value. When you have like a curve, you have a subtle shift in the value. Of course, the value is going to change. Value, by what I mean by value, is the lightness and darkness of a color. But we're working with grays. We're working with blacks and whites. And the value that black and white creates is grays, different grays, gradations of values of gray. This is going to be much darker because it's the plane that has the less light on it. So this is going to be darker. That's your dark side. This is your light side. This is your middle side. I'm just going to work this in with the it's cotton swab here. And we're going to leave that we're going to leave a hard edge or hard value line there. That's a hard edge. And that's what you got. Then to give it like a placement of ground or earth, we'll continue to work with that shadow side. And as you go out, the shadow going to get lighter. And just lightly shade that in. And you have it. 1 point and 2 point perspective. This will be 1 point. This will be 2 point perspective. So this 2 point perspective is that. Now, you may ask, why are you sharing this? Because later, when I get into the series of drawing the human form, you're going to have like your hand, your foot, and it's going to be coming towards you. So things that are toward you are going to be bigger in scale, illusion wise, but not in actuality, but based on illusion and the sense, to give you a sense of depth and proper realism, you must understand 1 point and 2 point perspective. Understanding that objects are bigger as they're closer and they get smaller as they go into the distance. That's why I'm sharing these basic fundamental drawing principles. All right, now I want to share with you irregular shapes and making them 3-dimensional. Let's say you have an irregular shape of this. Now we want to make that into a 3-dimensional shape. So let's say you have your center line going straight, just proportion wise. Almost equal in proportion. Now, this is just reference. That's your center in that part. All right. Just center. Horizontal line, vertical line. Don't have to put that in there, but just for the sake of showing you. And then you have like this. You got a center here. And it just rounds off. Let's notice the fact that it's going to be more round. Kind of round off back there. So we got the contour. We're developing the contour structure of this form. So that's the contour. Continue to show you the same irregular shape. This time we're going to create light. So your light source is coming here. So all this here is going to be in shadow. Just block this side in. Now remember, we're not dealing with planes on this in here. It's a irregular shape, making it three-dimensional. And it's rounded off, so therefore you're going to have a soft shift in the values. And there you have it. Let's go to the next one. Erase with the chamois cloth. Okay. Okay. Now let's do ellipses. Ellipses. Ellipses is like it's a flattened out circle. Let's say you got a circle here at the top. But when we're putting that circle in perspective, that's all it is. It's a circle in perspective. And you got, I don't know if you can, sorry about that, keep messing up on that. Let me bring this down here so everybody can see it. So you got the circle here, and we're doing ellipses. Ellipses is a circle in perspective, and with that being said, it's going to be flattened out. So you're looking straight at your right down. Let's say you're looking straight down on a rounded off circle or object that's circular. But we're talking about a flat circle. Let's just say it could be a cylinder. It could be a half of a sphere. I didn't do that pretty good. Let me make that better. A half of a sphere. Probably come down so you can see that. So a half of a sphere. So let's say you got a center line. The sphere been chopped off in half and it's flat. And we're going to make it in perspective. So it's going to be flattened out into ellipses. This is an ellipsis. And then the bottom of it is going to be like this, like a bowl. Half of a sphere, and then you got your center line. Going to be short because of perspective. You got your horizontal center line and vertical center line. And the contour is going to be like this. That's the contour of it, rounded off. That's like half of a sphere. Same for cylinder, very flattened out cylinder. Real flat. Center line and horizontal line. And we can continue, put it down like that, and your contour is going to be like that. Now, we're not talking about planes. It's just showing you the rounded off cylinder, and Because if it's a plane shift, it would be like this. A hexagon. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just showing you rounded off, flat, looking straight down at this, looking straight down at this. Let's erase all this and start over with a fresh, clean slate. Working with ellipses, doing ellipses. So let's take a range of views on the ellipses. We'll start in the center here. We got a center, we got a round circle with a center line going in two different directions, horizontal and vertical. Then we got it coming over here where it's slightly done changed. It's the same thing, but it's turning. To the point it's flat. Same here on this side. And it's flat. Then we can do it like this where it's flat right here. Let's make it like this. That's your ellipses. So let's erase. I'm gonna erase that off. Let's do some more irregular shapes. Watch this irregular shape. Actually, you got your irregular shape going back into the distance like a horizontal line. Of course, you ain't gonna have corners going off like that, but it just help you understand. This is gonna be rounded up, the contour rounded off. And it's gonna be rounded off in the front here, so we got this right here going. Continue to round off. This is contour drawing. Contour drawing. Then you got your center line coming all the way out to here. And this continues to there. There's your contour. You got light coming here. This be shadowed in. Just block that in. Take the chamois cloth, erase the contour lines. It's not necessary to have them because you're just understanding form by doing the contour lines. It helps you to see the form in a three-dimensional way and also transparent way. this. Irregular shape. Now watch, get this. Contour lines. Let me do this better. Now, it looks weird, but the contour is concave. The axis is a concave surface. And what I mean by contour, concave is like going inward, rounded off inward, but not all the way. It's not going all the way hollowed out. And then that backside is rounded off like a spear. But this point, this, it's like, did it wrong again. Actually, it's very tricky in drawing. And I did pulls. Let's do this here. Let's try it one more time. This is drawing from imagination. Going straight across the center. All right. But then it actually goes like this. This is how it goes. Perfect. Perfect. That's better. That's better. See that? So it's going in like that from a side view. So it's hard to view. It's hard. And in the center, of course, it would look like this, looking straight at it. Well, it wouldn't be like that, but it would be like this. It would be like that because you lose the curvature of the lines because you're looking straight down on it. But looking on the side, you got the curvature there because it's going inward. That's concave. That's the contour of that surface. Irregular shapes. Draw a cube. Angles off there, just a sec. Cylinder is inside the cube. And draw a spear.